Let's do it. Pick it up with an unbelievable game at Madison Square Garden last night. The Knicks and the Nuggets. We're going to pick it up with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Jay Will. Knicks down a deuce. Jalen Brunson was just sensational late in this one.
Just one of the best ISO scorers in the game of basketball. Took his team to another level.
That one takes him to a tie game now. We're still tied, under 2 minutes to play. It's Brunson again, giving the Knicks a 2-point lead. 20 seconds left. Nuggets, where are you going to go? Jokic? No. Jamal Murray in the painted area.
And talk about a point guard duel, the battle between Jamal Murray and the way these two teams played down the stretch. Jalen Brunson had a chance, and Jokic had a chance.
That one was at the buzzer in regulation and somehow doesn't get it to go. So 48 minutes were insufficient to settle the issue. We go to overtime, under 2 minutes to play in the OT. Nuggets down a deuce, and here's Jokic. Unstoppable. He had a 30-point triple-double, tied at 117. Then how about Karl Anthony Towns? Too small.
Too small. That's what you want. That's what every Knicks fans want.
That's what. 24 and 12 for him. Now, 6 seconds to play. Nuggets down by 2. Jamal Murray. That's the ball game, right? No, wrong. Hold on. Watch underneath. We got Mikal Bridges called for a foul. Was this a good call?
It's the right call. It's the right call. Push it in. It's going to get 2 free throws.
Christian Brown makes both foul shots. Cat can't believe it. We're going to double overtime. Knicks down a deuce, and then it's Brunson. He would score 42 in this game.
Is this a preview of the NBA Finals?
Could it be? Could it be? Knicks and Nuggets. More from Brunson. Again, 42 points, 8 boards, 9 assists, 37 seconds left in the second overtime. Here's the dagger, one-on-one with Brown. Knicks hold on to win it. Double overtime, 134, 127. And Jalen Brunson continues to add to his Knicks legacy. It's his 11th 40-point game. That is the second most in franchise history, trailing only the Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing. And so let's bring Windy into the conversation as we're here at deadline day, and there's been so much talk about the Knicks in the past, or I guess as recently as a few weeks ago, talking about the Knicks going out and getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now I got Knicks fans walking up to me on the street saying, is this our year? Jay Will, is this their year?
It has to be their year. I mean, when you look at the way Detroit is playing, they're playing a high level of basketball. Boston's going to be there. Philly's going to be there. But when you think about the way this team is constructed, this gives them their best chance to do so. And look, they've improved over the last 7 games defensively, but Jalen Brunson's playing at an all-time high. Cat is actually playing down low. They have the pieces. The time is now, Greeny. There's no other time.
Windman, I'm looking at the top of the East, and it certainly feels like this is a Knicks opportunity, which I think, and you told us yesterday, the honest thing, they're not doing all the things they would have to be doing in order to make a run there. But what is your sense with Cleveland making the acquisition they made, the Celtics, who continue to play really well, and at some point here, we assume we'll get Jason Tatum back. Give me your read on the top of the Eastern Conference.
Well, I think the East has got 5 different teams that can win it, but let me put that aside right now. I want to focus on the Knicks. This team has been built for 3 or 4 years, and they've been going to this point. They could have had Giannis Antetokounmpo last summer. They probably could have had him now, and they don't believe they should mess up this team. This game is an example of what they've been building towards. Jalen Brunson was an absolute star in this game. Karl Towns, all what Knicks fans want to say about him, he gets elbowed in the head, gets stitches, bleeding all over the court, comes back and has an excellent game. Their wing defense showing how important it is down the stretch of this game, possession after possession, where they were able to battle Jamal Murray and battle Nikola Jokic in this game and get stops. Their bench, Mitch Robinson, Landry Shamet. This is a deeper team. They won this game without Josh Hart, illustrating that they have flexibility. The Knicks are as strong and as good a position as they have been in the last 30 years to win it. It is not going to be easy. There are teams around them building up. Even last night, you saw the might of the newly formed Cavs, who walloped the Clippers out here in L.A. Down in Houston, the Celtics walloped the Houston Rockets even without Jaylen Brown. I just was at the 76ers game the other night. They're kicking tail. And that doesn't even mention the number 1 seed, the Pistons. It's open, but the Knicks are as strong as any of them.
And you see the analytics there right now, like the Knicks by an eyelash over the Pistons. And then very quickly,
Greeny, it shouldn't be open. I know it's open, but if you're a Knicks fan, like I said before, the time is right now.
Yeah.
If Jason Tatum's trying to come back, great. If James Harden's trying to get acclimated to Cleveland, Great. Detroit's playing, but they haven't been there for as long. Great. The time is right now set up for a championship. No other time.
Knicks and Pistons played a really good first-round series last year. For those who remember that, that was all that the Knicks, the Pistons gave the Knicks all they could handle then, and they're better now. So we'll see. The East is open and interesting, and the Knicks with a big win last night. Meanwhile, I say happy trade deadline day to all who celebrate as we are counting down the minutes, indeed the seconds, until 3 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. The Warriors yesterday, I guess, took themselves out of, or realized they are out of, the Giannis conversation because they trade Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis, who has been on the Warriors' radar dating to his previous playoff runs with the Celtics. Windy, let's pull on that thread for a minute here. What are all the tentacles of the Warriors acquiring Kristaps Porzingis?
Yes, the Bucks and talks with the Warriors did not progress. Milwaukee obviously believes that draft pick-centric offer is not good enough to get Giannis, and so the Warriors moved on. This is a type of player that they have needed for a while, a floor-stretching big man. He's obviously been a big difference maker in playoff runs in the past. He just hasn't been healthy at all. He's missed. He has not played the last month with an Achilles injury. But the Warriors do believe that this guy, if he's healthy in the second half, can be a player who lifts their ceiling. The most important thing for the Warriors is the health of Steph Curry. He is out right now with a sore knee. They don't think it's a long-term injury. But obviously, they would have preferred to have been making a Giannis Antetokounmpo transaction. That is apparently not going to happen. If
you had put Giannis on this team, we'd be having a different conversation. Putting Porzingis on the Warriors, Jay, in your mind means what?
It just keeps them stagnant. I mean, getting the health back of Steph Curry is the most important thing. But I don't, Porzingis being in and out his entire career, I obviously know what the ceiling is there, but I don't really trust in the durability of it. So for me, it keeps them exactly where they are.
He's always hurt.
Right, exactly. Doesn't do anything.
When he was with Boston, had he remained healthy, when he was healthy, they were unbeatable, but that was just such always an if. And so that would then bring us back all the way to where this whole thing really begins. Man, we just gave you the countdown clock there. We're under 7 hours. We take the Warriors out of the conversation, take the Knicks out of the conversation. Where are we with Giannis?
Yeah, we're pretty much – I've been at 51-49 against a trade. I'm now sort of moving more towards 60-40 against a trade. Minnesota is still out there, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Minnesota's offer was as good as Golden State's. And if Golden State's offer is not good enough and Minnesota can't do a trade to improve their offer, I don't think Minnesota is realistic. That, in my mind, leaves Miami. Miami is making a sort of a player and sort of semi-draft pick offer. It's a decent offer. I don't think it's something that you would stop everything for Giannis. There's a couple of other teams out there that have shown interest. Cleveland has shown some interest in Giannis, but they are in this position with James Harden now where they've sort of picked a lane. Portland has sniffed around Giannis. They have the Bucks draft picks and draft assets from the Damian Lillard trade, but these are not compelling things. So unless there's a secret thing going on, I'm not feeling Giannis moving right now. And Giannis has not forced the issue, and that is probably going to be a factor.
And you were telling me this morning that's probably the difference here.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Durant. It's like, I want to leave this team. Giannis has not said, I want to leave this team. And if there's anything, Greeny, that we learned from, the Luka situation is that don't limit your market. Bring every feasible team to the table for a trade. And by the way, this offseason, what's going to happen in Houston? What's going to happen with the Spurs? What's going to happen with the Pistons if they can't get over the hump? You're going to have a lot more optionality when you get into the offseason than you do right now if you're the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, so we'll keep our eyes and ears open, and Windy will have it, and Shams will have it, and everyone will have it. We also had last night the Thunder and the Spurs and the spectacular Victor Wembanyama. The Thunder were playing without so many of their stars, including no SGA. So we'll just let you feast your eyes on Wembanyama. Jay, he blocks the shot on one end and now stay with it. It goes down the other.
I mean, just the most skillful player, I think, in the NBA today with his size, his frame.
Come on. Step back.
What? He put the ball out and then dragged it back with the opposite hand?
Up 15 at the half. Now watch Wemby. Watch the putback jam off the missed jumper here. Here we go. That's up. Watch Wembanyama.
It's a Fisher's hoop. He's playing on a Fisher's hoop. That's what we're doing here.
One more for you, and stay with this play. Fourth quarter, Spurs are up by 10. All right, on one end, Wembanyama, that's a block. Well, stay with it. Stay with it. Run the floor.
Call it for in the open court.
Reward the big man.
Throw it at the rim.
Wow. 22 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks. Victor Wembanyama. Spurs win it by 10. He may be the most watchable athlete in sports right now. If he's not the most, he's up there. Spurs pick up their third double-digit win over the Thunder this year, more than the rest of the NBA has combined. Spurs have won 4 of their 5 matchups against them this year. Worth noting.
Have you seen it in person?
Yeah.
Have you seen him play in person yet?
No.
You think it's something watching him on TV? See it in person.
Tell me.
It's like watching an alien play. You thought Kevin Durant was different. You thought Yao Ming was different. This is Yao Ming times 2, moving on the perimeter and handling the ball like Kevin Durant.
He is ridiculous. He is the most entertaining person to do highlights. I sit here and do highlights every morning. There's no one I enjoy doing the highlights of more than Victor Wembanyama. What I was saying there, Windman, quickly is, you know, the Thunder were playing without all their stars last night. So you don't want to make too big a deal out of this. But the question does remain, because the Spurs have played them tough. But they're so young. Is San Antonio, in your mind, the biggest threat to OKC in the West?
They are a threat for sure. It's going to be hard to get through 3 series, whatever pathway you have. I think Denver is more built out and ready to compete at that level. They took them to 7 games last year. Denver's also banged up. But the Spurs are not active at this trade deadline. They could have made a move or two to increase their chances to win the West this year. They are playing the long game, and with a player as young as Victor, I kind of get it.
What do you think?
Nikola
Spurs?
Jokic obviously going to be there. Jamal Murray. I mean, Aaron Gordon, what's going to happen with that is a really big thing with his hamstring.
Yeah.
But I will say young legs favor the young and favor the youth. And I think that the Spurs are the team knocking on the door. Obviously, they're 3-1 against OKC this year. I don't really care about the regular season, but I do believe their depth and their size and their length is going to have them best positioned to contend for a world title this season.
We'll see if somehow Giannis winds up in the mix in the West this year. It doesn't appear that it's headed in that direction. The other thing I wanted to get to here this morning is the Mavericks. All right, so we did get a trade yesterday. Dallas agreeing to trade 10-time All-Star Anthony Davis to the Wizards. It's an 8-player blockbuster kind of deal. In return, Dallas gets 2 first-round draft picks and 3 second-rounders. Anthony Davis, of course, was the centerpiece of the return in the controversial Luka Doncic trade that just had its 1-year anniversary a couple of days ago. So in the end, he appears in just 29 games for the Mavericks due to a variety of injuries. And we're able to now show you the full return for Luka Doncic. The trade is now kind of official. The Mavericks end up with 5 players and 6 picks, including 3 first-round draft picks. So, Jay Will, people will wake up this morning and they will say, wow, the Dallas got absolutely nothing out of Anthony Davis. Does the trade look even worse than before?
Well, on paper, it looks horrible, but thank God we don't live our lives on the surface here, Greeny. You just got to do some research on it. So right now, look, you got to be able to compartmentalize those 2 things, right? Luka trade was one thing, and there's a whole story on the Luka trade with a guy like Nico Harrison. This is a separate situation, and if you're not in a situation where you're going to win now, with a guy like Anthony Davis has played 29 games in 2 years, 83 games overall, you get the most assets in return to build around a generational asset in Cooper Flagg. That's what the Spurs are doing right now. They're saying, hey, we're buying into the next level. Cooper Flagg can carry the flag for our team moving into the future. Now we're focused on building around him with young assets. I like the move of trading Anthony Davis.
Windy, Cooper Flagg.
Okay, first off, this trade is much worse than you've just said it out because it's a salary dump. You say 2 first-round picks. One of the picks is this year's Oklahoma City pick. That's going to be 29 or 30. The other one is top 20 protected. The pick that they got for Luka last year was, not in the lottery. These are not quality picks. This deal was done by Dallas to save money, and it's an indication of how far Anthony Davis's value has dropped because of his injury issues. But in all honesty, the Luka trade, and I know that the Mavericks fans are in their feelings about it and will be forever, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's an interesting thing to talk about, but the reason it's irrelevant is Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg very well might end up being a better player than Luka Doncic. And, I mean, it's still early, but this, not only that, I don't know if we've been so focused on the trade deadline. Cooper Flagg just had his best week of the season and is putting up jaw-dropping performances night after night, and the Mavericks are doing the exact correct thing, which is to clear out their bloated cap. They saved tens of millions of dollars in this. They cleared out players that they can now add to around Cooper Flagg, and frankly, they should lose every game the rest of the season because Dallas doesn't control their draft after this year. So now they're going to have their pick, try to get it as high as possible, use the 30th pick in the draft, which whatever. I don't know what you're going to get with it, and wait for Cooper Flagg to develop into what I think is going to be a generational player.
Gritty, I was going to say this, okay? And take it with a grain of salt. I've known Nico Harrison since I've been 17 years old. I am not advocating the fact that he traded Luka Doncic. But, Nico's been around Kobe Bryant for most of his life. There are attributes and qualities that Nico saw on a day-to-day basis that led me to believe that he didn't think Luka was the right person to lead this team. I am going to tell you, from knowing Cooper Flagg and watching him, I guarantee you he shows up early every day. He stays late every day. There's a different kind of workman-like mentality as a leader, and having Kyrie Irving alongside of him, teaching him, it feels like that franchise is in better hands moving forward. That's just my opinion. It may be wrong. That's just how I feel.
Okay. It's certainly an interesting way of looking at it. Again, you can compartmentalize the two. One wrong doesn't make another right, or whatever I'm trying to say there. Let me finish up, Windy, for the hour with you with this. What else are we watching today? We talked about Giannis. We'll see if anything happens there. What else do you have an eye on as we work our way towards the deadline?
Yeah, so keeping in mind what Anthony Davis went for, now I want to look to Ja Morant. And frankly, there just hasn't been a market for him. When I talk to NBA players about this, they cannot believe it. They cannot believe that nobody wants Ja Morant because the guy is such an incredible talent. The issue is not just the baggage, Greeny, it is the contract. I think if he had 1 year left on his contract, teams would take this risk and buy low. Because it's 2 years, they just haven't gotten a deal. If there's going to be a team that does it today, I would watch the Sacramento Kings. They can dump some salary in this type of deal, but I think Ja's going to stay put. The other player I want to point out, and this is not going to be a blockbuster, but when the Clippers traded James Harden, they started getting serious taking bids on Ivica Zubac. Zubac is one of the best defensive centers in the league. If you'd have told me this guy would have been on the market 2 months ago, I would have said, stop talking to me. This is a player who can really help a competitive team. He may not go to a competitive team. He may go to a team that's rebuilding, but I suspect he's going to go for multiple draft picks. If he gets traded today, he is going to get traded for more than Anthony Davis got traded for. And he's going to get traded for more than Ja Morant would have been traded for. And that's just sort of the state of the league right now.